it down. Oh, that's beautiful.
Shot bottom right corner. Opposite Corey, geosynthetic.
Down. Oh, that's beautiful. What a city.
Welcome on in, folks. Hope that the world is treating you well, because it is time one more time for Rocket League action here on the channel. It is Car Soccer Association action. And a little bit earlier on, if you weren't here, my goodness, what a way to start our preseason here on the home of Philadelphia Phoenix. Rocket League, Car Soccer Association, Rocket League. Earlier on in the evening, Philadelphia getting their very first dub in the history of ever on this channel. I suppose also the first Car Soccer Association game on the channel in the history of ever, but I digress. Getting that dub for, beg pardon, 3-1 over Baltimore, that being Taco Stash, Jonathan, and Patty. Now, this may be the preseason, ladies and gentlemen, but if you are looking for a heavyweight fight, if you are looking for a Sunday night main event, you're in the right place, because this is a crew, Philadelphia Phoenix, #1 overall draft pick, Gyro, Pig Beast, and Fade, going to be taking on New York City is the Vanguard, #2 overall pick, T-Coral, Hesse, and Guard. So if you were not here a little bit earlier on, you're not familiar with CSA, it is season #2. And by the way, you are more than welcome to jump on into the CSA Discord, learn all about this league. It's got a whole bunch of different ranks, whole bunch of different tiers. Everybody welcome to jump on in there. Phoenix, however, the Phoenix, they are in the Northeast division of the world class tier, the ones that you will be seeing this evening. Of course, multiple teams as well, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, those being draft results from the Philadelphia Phoenix's most recent draft day draft. And again, if you weren't here earlier, I will tell you, because it has to be said one more time, about 4.5 hours was that draft. So they are in the Northeast division, along with the likes of Toronto, New York, and Baltimore. Of course, we saw Baltimore a little bit earlier on in the evening. We will see New York before too long. And of course, sometime down the road, of course, we will see Toronto as well. Winners for the world-class grouping, that is going to be $600, a cool $200 for every single player on the roster. And out there, again, for this crew, for Philadelphia, #1 overall pick, Gyro, former Dignitas and Deleted Gaming individual, most recently playing alongside Hockey and Creams as a member of Hey Bro in the Last Chance qualifier. Pig Beast as well, 16th pick in round #2, played tremendously well, absolutely absurd defense in our earlier game against Baltimore. And then Fade, the final pick of the world-class round 3 in that draft. Teammates with Skip CRL, faced SSA Champions Road 1v1 Victor Ravizzi in the grand finals of the very first 100x35 $50 1v1 showdown, and played out of his freaking mind earlier on. Meanwhile, out there for the Vanguard, #2 over pick, T-Coral, part this past RLCS 2025 season, Almost Nuts Revelation, Little Step Bros, most recently top 16 with Psycho Rangers, and consistently in the top 32, if not top 16 over the course of the RLCS 2025 season. Then you have Hesse, of course, 15 pick in the second round, top 28 in the most recent NALCQ, part of Snowball, top 5 placements in Frosty Sports tournaments all the way back in May, but continuing on to grow, of course. And then there is Guard, 15th overall, or beg pardon, 15th pick in the third round, getting experience in NA Open qualifiers over the course of the 25 season as well. Now, I will mention, before we get this underway, next week, going to be seeing Akron out there, which is Adam, JJ, and Deck, and of course San Diego, Snaz, Rylite, and Shocks. Those are scheduled for 9:15 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern, respectively. Thought that's what we would see here this evening, but a little bit of a reschedule. Also, by the way, as well, I appreciate the follow, friend. And again, this league, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it has grown so very much, and the talent in the world-class division. I mean, we're talking about individuals like, again, we mentioned Jaro, we mentioned T-Coral. You've got Cosmic, Kevin Percy, Swaz, Bosco, Tybu, Preston, Adam, Peaceful, Snaz, Patty, of course, Kazi, Soares, Gear, of course. There's also names like Kronovi, Jonathan, DapTap, Marvel, and Mystical. So such tremendous talent here at the world-class grouping, and then you head down from there, but just great talent across multiple tiers. And again, we are looking to get underway before too long here, ladies and gentlemen. Your opportunity, of course, to win yourself some monkey bucks in the here and the now. Let me know, who do you think is going to get the dub? Will it be New York City, or will Philadelphia be able to make nil in the preseason? So again, if you weren't here earlier on, we had Philadelphia getting that 3-1 dub over Baltimore. Baltimore able to get a 6-3 win in game number 1, but then Philadelphia caught fire and did not look back, also getting a 3-2 overtime victory in game number 3. So what will we see here this evening? Honestly, like I said, I expect this to be a little bit of a heavier hitter. Again, these by and large just kind of gussied up scrims, because unlike the world-class grouping, every other tier underneath them needing to make cuts after the preseason. But these boys, they're just out there having a good time, trying to find that chemistry, and we saw a great deal of chemistry from Baltimore. Of course, we saw Jonathan, we saw Patty, and then Taco Stash stepping up to an insane degree. Of course, I think we expect a great deal from this crew as well. T Coral, no doubt leading the charge, but that is no shade on Hessian Guard. So looking forward to seeing what that team has in store for us. Again, it has been a monumental, it's been a fantastic evening, be part of CSA Action, Car Soccer Association Action, their season number 2, and really, it has just been great to be able to see people start up. And of course, preseason, by the way, not just about the players, gives us as casters, as production folk as well, the opportunity to knock some of that rust off as well. So appreciate each and every one of you for being here. We will get the action underway here before too long. And then again, the boys out there, Philadelphia Phoenix, going to be taking on this New York City Vanguard crew. So we got to see a little bit of what Baltimore has a little bit early on. We will no doubt run up on them a little bit earlier on. So now maybe a chip on their shoulder. We run into them next time, and indeed it does appear that we will be connecting. I do out here for too long, would imagine. Maybe jumping on them. Who's just kind of keeping the rust off between games. Again, looking to get underway here before too long, ladies and gentlemen. And I will say, being able to see teams of this nature as well, so very fun. A lot of these individual weekly tournaments on that grind, but now to kind of see them swap around and kind of get experience elsewhere, that of course fun different dynamics for us to enjoy. As again, looking to get underway long, ladies and gentlemen, connecting boys and before too long. So we are just waiting to actually, by goodness, we may very well, I'm trying to find out if I may in fact have gone live a little bit, not necessarily prematurely, but just trying to see if maybe we have received word of a forfeit, which would be again preseason. Understandable why that might be the case. And you've got folks out there saying, well, technically this doesn't count, but still, when you set aside time, go out there and play. So we are just looking to get confirmation one way or the other. No, Gyro currently out there playing a little bit, so hopefully we'll contact him before it's long. But again, regardless of that situation, we will be back here scheduled for 9:15 p.m. Eastern and 10 p.m. Eastern, respectively, this next week. And that is going to be against, I saw, Akron and San Diego. Yes, indeed it is. Indeed it is. So very excited for that opportunity to see those fine teams. And of course, it will matter. Then it will effectively be part of the record. These, like I said, just kind of knock around, just kind of scrims, so to speak. So we are just waiting to find out what the situation is with regards to New York City. Some chatter about a potential forfeit, and we will get information. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know. And forfeit or no, a loss is a loss, win is a win. Let me know using your monkey bucks. Will it be a dub for Philadelphia? Will it be? We are waiting to get information on that, and as soon as we have that information, and hopefully get underway. I'm going to step to the side real quick, try to get confirmation on that one, and when we return, I hope, because I know you, me, everybody else, we want to get that Rocket League action, but of course we need 2 teams to be out there to play it in the first place. Great to see you, Sox. I'm just going to step to the side real quick. Just want to confirm that our opposition is going to be good to go. And I will return as soon as I have that information. Again, it is the home of Philadelphia Phoenix Rocket League here in the Car Soccer Association. So I will return. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't want you sitting on that screen for too long. Again, right now, trying to find out about a potential forfeit. Always hate for that to be the case. You know, a couple did come in over the course of the evening with regards to preseason. And again, I totally get it. It's a situation where, you know, technically this doesn't count and everything like that. But again, you want to be able to go out there and play the game if you possibly can. So we are looking to get information on that as soon as possible. But again, if you're just getting in here, the Philadelphia Phoenix grabbing a 3-1 dub earlier in the evening over Baltimore, and that a series that had some fantastic moments for both sides, honestly. If you did not catch it, hey, the clip was saved. A glorious team pinch between Akron Zip members out there, between Patty and Jonathan. So that was a treat. We also saw some just great defensive work on both sides of the ball. Coach Jonathan, just a defensive mastermind out there. So again, we are waiting to find out what the situation is with regards to New York City. But again, if we do not have the opportunity for that one, hey, you're still those monkey bucks for the dub. But on top of that, we will be back here next week, the next weekend, I should, at 9:15, 10 p.m. Eastern, respectively. So back to back there. Give us a nice little break in the meantime during that stream. Again, it will be Akron and San Diego. So excited about seeing those teams there as well. And again, I know for forfeits, it is a struggle. Genuinely, I don't think that teams, regardless of the situation, want to say terribly sorry or whatever, especially in a moment where got folks together, things are being life be life, and sometimes certainly. But we are looking to find out what the situation here is before too long. Just one. We should know, I would assume, within I would assume a few minutes, but gives you the opportunity if you need to freshen your snack, freshen your drink, whatever you might. But again, we want some excellent CSA action, car soccer action, car soccer association action. There it is. Like I said, it's preseason. A little bit later on, again, would like to get underway before too long. Waiting to find out what is going to be happening here before, like I say, before too long. So I am going to step aside again and step on over to the BRB screen one more time, hopefully not too long, having a conversation with folks in the back, and try to get you confirmation one way or the other here momentarily. Well, who is here for good news? I most certainly am, and the good news is we are going to be enjoying some Rocket League this evening. Wasn't quite sure what the situation is going to be, but yes, we will actually have a game. Big fan of that. No doubt. But again, we have your Monkey Buck predictions locked in, and again, wasn't quite sure what the situation was. I think there was a struggle to actually find an individual left there for NYC. Indeed, it looks like they may very well be bringing in Dap. Let's see. So it's Coral and Hezi. You're going to be bringing in Dap. So that's a curious situation. Again, I mentioned Dap a little bit earlier on. Another tremendous talent. So looking to get underway again. The New York City Vanguard, a shuffled roster. Apparently, we were expecting to see Cloud, but apparently we will be seeing Dap in his stead. And again, this preseason, this doesn't officially go on any records or anything like that. But again, we've got the time. We want to go out there. We want to have a good time. I want to be able to cast. And of course, you guys want to be able to Rocket League action. And if nothing else, hey, you have the opportunity to sit around maybe a little bit longer. You have the opportunity to drop farm. I'm here for that. So again, we have the folks out there that are coming into our lobby, just waiting for one more individual. I believe that is Coral. And let's see. I think that may be the case. Again, we are trying to verify. I think that should be good to go. Basically, we're just trying to get this one underway, determine the situation. Just looks like Cloud was not able to make it, unfortunately. But we just to verify. Honestly, at this point, it may very well be someone other than Dap from what I'm seeing. So this is a curious situation. They always say adaptation key in the game of Rocket League, and certainly that is the case. So it looks like Dap. We were thinking he could jump on in, but apparently that is not the case. So a little bit of drama, a little bit of tension here, a little bit of intrigue, I guess. Well, so apparently, let's see, saying. And this comes from Wi-Fi as well. Preseason for whatever you want to do. All right, so I am here for creativity. I know you guys are as well. Nothing wrong with a surprise or two, I don't think. And again, we were just waiting to find out who the heck will be the third as far as New York City. We were anticipating seeing Cloud, but apparently not able to go. But now we are trying to figure out what the situation is with regards to the third of New York City. We are actually in lobby as of right now, just waiting to find out. Welcome into Barkvik. Great to see you, friend. We are trying to find a way to bring you guys some CSA action, some Car Soccer Association action. We were anticipating seeing Philadelphia Phoenix, their second game of the evening, taking on New York City Vanguard, and technically, kind of, sort of, that's what we may be able to get. Again, the third that we were anticipating. We've got Hezi out there on the pitch. I think we were awaiting a T Coral, of course. We're maybe Cloud as well. We're trying to figure out what the heck. Right now, we've got 1/3 of Vanguard out there. We've got, of course, the boys, the Phoenix out there. All the same, but regardless of what happens here this evening, hey, this is your home CSA action when it comes to the Philadelphia Phoenix. Of course, that being Gyro, Fade, Big Beast. They played exceptionally well earlier on. If you didn't get a chance to check them out, but again, Sox, Bark, hope you're doing well. The Car Soccer Association, that is an excellent question that you just asked there. It is actually a league, a draft league. On top of that, all kinds of different levels of talent, from world class all the way down to academy. Got T Coral in here. So again, if you would like to learn more, Bark, they do actually have a Discord. I am in it. I can vouch for it. Exclamation CSA will afford you that opportunity. But it is a draft league, very well run. We are just kind of getting all the kinks out of our system, and indeed, we do have the boys out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, enough of my yammering, enough of my stammering. Just want to verify that we have the folks on the side of the pitch that we want. Indeed, I think that we do. Let's see. And, well, we did momentarily. I think we're good to go. I will just let them know. Let's see. We've got folks in here, ladies and gentlemen. We're just trying to be able to shift on over. There we go. All right, I think. All right, so, look, again, I said intrigue, tension. Here we go. Sounds interesting. I hope there are different divisions. There's actually several different divisions, so just want to be able to verify this, that, and the other. Beautiful. All right, want to make sure bar looks nice and pretty for each and every one of you. Indeed it does. So now we switch on over. We appreciate your patience. We've been sitting around for a half hour, but now it is time for the goodness. That is CSA action, and again, we're anticipating seeing T Coral, Hezi, and Cloud, but Cloud not able to, so we actually have ourselves a substitute. Again, it is it is something different. We talk about, like I said, the necessities for adaptation and I guess in life as well, and that is the case here on the CSA pitch as well. So indeed, it will be a substitution. Eris out there for Vanguard. However, Fade gonna pick up where he left off against Baltimore. Set up for, or by, I should say, Gyro. That one off the undercarriage of the RLCS 2025 Challenger. And Baltimore, I beg pardon. Baltimore a little bit earlier on. Philadelphia out ahead by 1, 4:33 left to go. Again, the action we will typically see 9:15 p.m. Eastern and 10 p.m. Eastern on Sunday nights. 2 matches every single time with regards to world class. But yes, there are, I think, a grand total of 6 here in CSA. You check it out there in the Discord. But in the meantime, Gyro the nudge up and over to Fade. Fade with the send away. And you got to wonder as well, what kind of synergy, what kind of chemistry are we going to see here? And what is basically a pickup game of CSA action. But again, Gyro, a big part. Gyro, the number 1 overall pick, and you see the number 2 overall pick, big pardon, in Eris. I'm gonna get that shot on, and what a marvelous setup by the aforementioned number 2 pick. But we have a 1-all game here, 4:02 left to go, and I can tell you that Gyro been streaming for quite some time, hours and hours, ready to go. I have no doubt he said, hey, you know what? I've been doing this. I'm ready to go out there. I'm ready to play some Rocket League. And again, it is preseason, but you want to get your warm-ups in where you possibly can. And now Fade with possession kicks this pass. Eris lays out, but ultimately some love from Mr. Crossbar here yet again. We saw it a little bit earlier on. 3:48 left to go, and Fade, ladies and gentlemen, right here you see the 1v1 aficionado come out to say hello. When you get those breakaway moments, when you get those moments on the goal line, definitely you want Fade in those. So the send away there by Eris, looking to follow. Fade lays out. T Coral not going to be able to follow, just a little bit slow with the stutter step. Gyro set up opportunity, but that one over. Pig Beast pops this one high as Fade. This one waterfall back down, and it is the double play with emphasis. And Fade, tip him if you got him. It is the hat trick pop up by Pigby. T Coral trying to make it happen, but Eris just sitting flat footed back there in net, and we are talking 3-1 in favor of Phoenix. 3:30 left to go in this one. Again, T Coral and Hezi. Familiar with the situations that absolutely we have been out there, we've been playing alongside each other. We know the situation in terms of proclivities, preferences. However, that one's sent away now, and Pigby gonna get on the board here for the first time this match. Pigby 316, as I'm building toward a hat trick of my own. Gyro there as well, with a little bit of team bait boost. You don't need a penny for that one. So in the early going here, ladies and gentlemen, in this makeshift game for Vanguard, well, Philadelphia played a little bit earlier on. Marvelous layout save. Though he didn't get the credit, certainly I will jot that down in my margins. The T Coral with possession, looking to sneak that pass, but Pigby, fine read courtesy of the shadow defense, pops this one away, and now Gyro taken to the sky, looking to be met off of 50. Gyro able to collect. And ladies and gentlemen, are you stressed? Do you need some time away? Perhaps you require a holiday. Eyeball the passport. Maybe, at least for the time being. 2:55, still plenty of time, of course, for Vanguard to be able to bring this even. But right now, again, they are working with 2/3 of the original roster, able to bring in Eris. But right now, that may be cause of this struggle. As now Gyro taking the sky, maybe looking for a ceiling pinch, not going to be able to get it popped away. Now Pigby looking for a follow of his own, able to slow things down, courtesy of the undercarriage. Again, New York City. Right now for the Vanguard, the makeshift Vanguard, is all about finding something to build upon, and that not gonna be one of them, as the goal line defense of the Phoenix coming in clutch here yet again. And we saw a little bit earlier on against Baltimore, that game number 1, 6-3. It was the Taco Stash show there for a hot second, but then the boys settled in there on defense, just constant denial of every Baltimore effort. But now appears to be the case as well for NYC, at least for the time being. So Eris, nudge up and over, looking for a shot on, but Pigby, I talk about shadow defense, was everybody's shadow. Eris, the ball, a little bit of everything. Sent away by Fade. Eris not going to be able to do much with it. Instead, Fade going to take this one away, looking for the setup back down to Hesse, but nobody there to be able to get the shot on as we are south of 2 minutes. T Coral, Gary popped up and over. Pigbeast to grab possession on back, and indeed Fade, individual that we have had those 1v1 moments, whether the opposition has cared for them or not. I know we are not done here. Catch and carry by Hezzy. A little bit of a pirouette as well versus your standard issue possession. Again, I'm here for the creativity. Pop it sky high, or I don't know, about mid-pitch high, I suppose, halfway through. Wherever gravity starts kicking in. I guess that's right as you get off the ground, but I digress, and Fade right in front of net, and almost able to deny, but like I said, Pig Beast saw the hat trick, looking for one of his own. Hezzy, brute force to the back of the net. Now 6-1, ladies and gentlemen. Talked about the passport a little bit earlier on. Do you know where it might be? As Hezzy's asking for admin, buddy, I wish I wish I could do something for you, but sadly, those controls have been taken away. Ultimately, I don't know that we have a mercy rule as far as trying to ask me for mercy, buddy. Believe me, I help where I can, but really largely here for documentation, to be fair. Big Beast. Then along the wall, past one, looking to sneak that past T-Coral. Coral able to slow things down for the moment. Pop back there. Now Fate, the nudge up and over towards Gyro. Gyro set up down to Pigby! And indeed, has the hat trick, has the playmaker. We're talking 36 seconds left to go in this one. And indeed, the 2/3 majority. No way to go through life. Let's see. Let's see. As commentary to be had out there in chat. I mean, ultimately, I don't know that we have a mercy rule, but we continue on, as it looks like Hezzy actually 3v2 situation, and this is a curious one. There's a little bit of everything in this one, folks. Weren't quite sure who would be playing or whatever, but now I think we are in a 2v3 situation. Indeed, I think Hezzy, I don't know if he lost connection or he just left or what the heck happened, but yeah, I mean, confusion does abound, ladies and gentlemen. But indeed, we are headed to Brazil, courtesy of the fine folks out there at the Phoenix. But my goodness, just kind of, yeah, I think we're all confused and befuddled there for a moment. I know I certainly was. So, at the end of the day, Philadelphia getting a 7-1 win, courtesy of a great deal of confusion. I think, regardless of how you want to look at it, we did get Hezzy back. Thank goodness. And these are definitely preseason vibes. But I think we should be good to go here. Let's see. Want to verify with the fine folks out there, and we unfortunately have had disconnects over the entirety of the game. Just a lot of tech stuff, just in general. But again, Philadelphia able to get a 7-1 dub, kind of all over the place. I don't know that anybody was necessarily synced in. I asked, hey, say everybody's okay, and we've got Eris out there taking to the pitch. I will take that as a yes. Always a good sign. So we switch on over, ladies and gentlemen. Again, game one kind of got away from Vanguard. We'll see if game two is a little more kind, and if Barl indeed looks to be functional this time around. So dubs across the board. But we shift back on over to Car Soccer Association action. This world class, and of course the preseason, and much like any other sport, like any other pre-sport, certainly there are moments we are just knocking the rust off, and that appears to be the case quite literally over there along the wall. However, that one sent back down. T-Coral looking for the setaway. Pop up now by Fade, as Pigby sends that back down to Gyro, but no denial by Hezzy as T-Coral be able to advance anything off of it. Instead, you have a Philadelphia Phoenix team, well-oiled still from earlier on. That 3-1 win over Baltimore. Forward to seeing how the Boxers will continue to flesh out over the course of our season as well. That a tremendous trio, a tremendous roster, is now the skip by Gyro. And my goodness, able to handle business on the goal line. I thought for a hot second, ladies and gentlemen, let us run this one back. It is a tremendous attempt there by Hezzy. They got about 5% of the way out, but at the end of the day, not able to win the exchange. 407. Like I said, confusion and bounce here for a hot minute, ladies and gentlemen. Sweaty out there on the pitch, sweaty here in the caster booth. And Pigby not going to find back in the net, so Hezzy Dialed in on defense. Challenge on the wall by Gyro. It's T Coral. Not going to be able to grab possession. And this is something that Philadelphia has been able to do a great deal over the course of the evening. Doesn't necessarily matter if it's against NYC. Doesn't necessarily matter if it's against Baltimore a little bit earlier on in the evening. They have been able to determine possession, and they have also dealt out demos, something that we saw in game number 1. They got all of the demos. I don't know if it was just something to get inside the minds of the opposition, but hey, at the end of the day, ultimately, able to grab a tremendous dub, an emphatic victory earlier with the Boxers, and here come the demos here yet again. As now Gyro, the setup back down for Fade, and Fade making it 2-0. Again, Fade looking as sharp as he did towards the end of that Baltimore series. 3:12 left to go in this one. Indeed, the Phoenix are popping off yet again. 3:12 left to go here in our game number 2. T Coral. Catch. Looking for the send away. T Coral, another individual. With some 1v1 action. However, brute forcing his way through his Pigby. Says, I want me that ball. I want to be able to zip to pop this away past Harris. Will not match Hesse. So, hey, to the credit of Hesse, has been able to settle in a defense a fair bit back there. So things going awry. And the benefit, ladies and gentlemen, to the Vanguard's credit, is that, hey, a Brazil is but a Brazil. And in a best of 5, it doesn't matter if you take a 7-1 loss, doesn't matter if you lose 1-0. At the end of the day, a game is a game. But to the credit of Philadelphia, every single game, except for that game number 1 against Baltimore earlier this evening, they have just been dialed in. Pop sky high, courtesy of Hesse. Doesn't coming across mid, the send away off the reset. But Fade gonna finish off one more time. 3v1 moment. T Coral just gonna challenge and pray for the best, and indeed, prayers were answered in the moment. So T Coral kick back over towards Harris. 1, 2, 3, quite possibly, and you even got a 4th in there, but the crossbar in that case, a Philadelphia Phoenix fan. So Bigby, let's set sky high, courtesy of the challenge up the low. Pop the way and out. T Coral not going to be able to follow as we are south of 2 minutes here. Again, if you're just getting in, we did not anticipate seeing this trio, T Coral and Hesse, part of the drafted roster, but could not get word from Cloud. So Eris able to step up. We also did see a possibility of Dap stepping in, but said no, I can't actually get out there. So I said confusion did abound there for a fair bit, I think all the way through game number 1. But we continue on here in game number 2. And the Phoenix continuing on with a 2-0 lead. However, Kester Chris the heck out of that one. Wait, don't you, my guy, in Eris. Individual who stepped up in relief for Vanguard on the board, and that deficit cut to 1, buck 14 left to go here in our game number 2. And again, how critical is it in this moment? You get your mental blitzed in game 1. Things going awry, you're not quite sure what the heck. Like I said, discombobulation all over the place. You end up taking the 7-1 loss. But now, you have been able to turn things around, and this is credit to the mental of NYC. You have been able to turn things around. You got the memory of a goldfish, and now you find yourself in a position where it's 2-1, focusing on that final score. But again, the speed and the pressure of Philadelphia has done you in countless times. Been able to hold the line a couple times here today. If you are Vanguard, get another rush up opportunity, and we have not seen the ferocity that we did earlier in the day from Baltimore. NYC trying to knit a sweater together with about 3/4 of the yarn you would prefer. It's a, I don't know, crop top, midriff, I don't know. The send along, 20 seconds left to go in this one. Gyro popped up, looking to follow. Indeed, coming across mid is the previous Habro representation a little bit earlier on this season in the LCQ. The nudge, and Gyro looking to finish this one off, but maybe one last gasp effort for New York City. Sent sky high, Pigby looking for the follow, not gonna make it. But instead, it is a 2-0 situation for the Philadelphia Phoenix. And again, you know, I do feel for Vanguard in this case, coming on in and just, oh, we're gonna do what we can. Oh, they've got Eris out there. Hesse, by the way, I just want to say, almost the double savior in that one. Just absolutely immense work out there on defense. Great work there on the goal line, but just unfortunately, when you have a team as dialed in as the Phoenix are right now, playing earlier on, getting that confidence. It's such a struggle to go in kind of in relief. Okay, well, what can we possibly do here? Well, you can possibly settle in. And to be fair, hey, 2-1 is better than 7-1. But if there's going to be a victory here this preseason week for this makeshift New York City Vanguard crew, to win 3 in a row courtesy of the reverse sweep. Right now, when Jay is out there eyeballing the Philadelphia Phoenix broom closet. So we shift on over into our game number 3. Philadelphia Phoenix looking for that sweep. Well, for NYC, it is just a 1 game at a time situation. Can they make it happen? I am here for the content, as y'all well know. Of course, this is the home of Philadelphia Phoenix action, surely. But again, we had a fair bit. I think we deserve it as a treat. But Gyro, number 1 overall pick, is always a treat. A setup by Pigbeast. Again, it is that speed you've heard of pre-jumps. How about a pre-jump? All of 7 seconds in to our game number 3. We're talking 1-0 in favor of Philadelphia. And we will return next week, ladies and gentlemen. Akron and San Diego on the horizon. Now, Hesse will do a little bit of damage on offense as well as defense. Again, just about had the double savior. Our game number 2. That was all for naught. They dropping 2-1, and again, if you are just getting on in, New York City dropping game 1, courtesy of the Brazil, but hey, they were able to respond really, really well. And off of that, like I say, it can be so challenging to say, all right, well, we're here, we got 2/3 of our roster, we were able to find somebody. What can we do? And again, it is preseason, but you want to find something, if nothing else. You want to feel confident that you're able to be a plug-and-play individual, a plug-and-play team. Now, T. Coral. For the send away met by Faye. Pigby looking for the follow, but instead, Harris with a nudge pop back as Hesse sending this one sky high. Coming across the mid here, yet again, going to be met by Gyro. However, that dips down, and Fade going to be able to grab possession. And again, when you have a 1v1 aficionado like that, the last thing you want is possession and an open lane. Now, Pigby. Head up looking for the bump on, and deletion courtesy of Hesse. So Hesse, the damage on defense, and now passing out the demo. Fate. Touch along. Harris able to pop this one back. Gyro. And this one sky higher yet again. Pigbeast, you see the patience. You saw the vision. But unfortunately, it was not 2020. Now Harris pops this one off the dome. Back down. T-Coral. For a setup opportunity there, but need to get this shot on. Instead, kick back there. Fade. Oh, it's just T-Coral. Gyro. The catch and carry out across. Bang back down. And Pigby. He going to be able to get that touch. Looking for maybe a send away off the backboard. Shot opportunity for Hesse. Gyro stalls. And my goodness, gets love from the post to crossbar. Every single atom of the goal denying Vanguard. Look, folks, when it is just not your day, it is just not your day. Appears to be the case here for NYC. But still time. After all, focusing on that single solitary goal necessary to be able to bring this one even, maybe take us into an overtime stanza as we had in game 3 a little bit earlier on in the evening against Baltimore. So Fate, catch, carry, send away. See the musty, but indeed it is the save by Harris that affords NYC yet another opportunity to bring this one even. Harris pulls up, but Fate, constant denial. And again, the knowledge as well of 1v1 aficionados like Fade coming in so clutch out there in defense. But again, Pigbeast as well has been there in assist. And I mean, what more does one need to say with regards to Gyro in this moment? And it is the bumpery, as now 50s aplenty. Gyro not able to get the pop off Hesse. Instead, Pigbeast is there, but no, will be denied by Harris. So again, New York City finding themselves in a situation able to walk away with the dub. They have come close, losing 7-1 in game number 1. They're getting dropped 2-1 in game 2. But Hesse able to bring this one even. So right now, NYC looking as good as they have all evening long. And to be fair, that bar is not especially high off the ground, but I digress. Buck 41 left to go here, ladies and gentlemen. It is anybody's ball game. And again, this is a ragtag bunch of NYC because, again, 2/3 of it were drafted. The other one just kind of caught necessarily on a whim, but the necessity after Cloud was unable to make it for reasons I do not have on my sheet. But Pig Beast, marvelous layout and saved by T. Coral again. Got a 1v1 aficionado on both sides of the pitch, and Fade, the aforementioned. Look at that pop off the wall gyro. This one's sky high, gonna be met by Aris. The bump is there, but T. Coral in relief, able to grab save and savior. There's the nudge along the wall. Pig Beast up this one away, but again, right now for NYC. Backs indeed up against the wall for the Phoenix. You are officially playing with house money. You can afford to take risks that certainly NYC cannot. But at the end of the day, folks, I think the fundamentals, maybe what is most coming to NYC, and Aris, the super sub, coming in clutch for Vanguard. Marvelous setup by T. Coral. Gyro not able to send that one. Instead, 2-1, ladies and gentlemen, in favor of Vanguard. 49 ticks on the clock. And Aris, winning the day off the kick, challenged courtesy of Gyro. And again, this is a rapid-fire offense for Phoenix that affords them the opportunity to maybe take this one to OT, but looking to stand their ground is Vanguard. Essie, for positioning here yet again, has been so very good and shadow defense for a great deal of this one. And my goodness, testament to what New York City has done in this one. They could have certainly just walked away, said, my goodness, 7-1, that it's indicative of what we're dealing with here. But no, instead they settled in. Game number 2, lost 2-1, but now find themselves on the positive end of that score. All 10 seconds left to go here. Phoenix needing a rush up if they're possibly going to take this game number 3, but challenged off the low by Aris. And now Hesse may be able to finish this one up in 3-1 fashion, will be denied, and indeed NYC will not get swept today. The reverse sweep is on the table, but maybe looking a little lackadaisical in that one were the boys. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you had Hesse out there, 5 saves last game, but in this one, 5 shots, only 1 find in the back of the net. But hey, at the end of the day, it was the most beautiful, able to give that one goal deficit to Phoenix. But we shift on over into our game number 4 again. We were not sure what we would get a little bit earlier on in our evening. Took us a hot minute, but ultimately CSA action does continue on. Phoenix, look at that 2-0 series lead, but finally able to get on the series scoreboard was New York City. See what they have in store for us here in game number 4. Up the way there by Pigby. As Fate sends that one back down towards Terra Firma. That one a send. Not going to be able to get the double. Instead, just looking to slow things down for the moment is T. Coral. And again, NYC playing with a speed and an aggression that we certainly did not see earlier on. And hey, at the end of the day, they always say what, warm-up game? Hey, 7-1, 5-1, 1-0, doesn't matter. You eventually use that big of a gap as reps to settle in, to find something positive. And indeed, certainly they did that, did this mixed group of NYC. Next time we see them, at least in theory, we should see that individual. The second overall pick of T. Coral, Hesse, and Cloud. But in the meantime, it is the super sub, Diamond T. Coral up and Gyro. The number 1 overall pick, not able to send that one away on defense. Instead, 4:21 left to go. And New York City kicking off the scoring here. So Phoenix to dial this one in, but truly momentum on the side of Vanguard in the moment. A huge loss in game number 1. Able to pare things down a bit in game number 2. Able to take game number 3. So might the pendulum be swinging in their favor. Trying to find a way to stop this scoring run are the boys in blue. But deleted courtesy of Gyro. It may not matter. Pop sky high by Fade. And indeed, what will not matter is that shot on. Is that shot attempt, I should say, big part. So now Pigby. Pop away, looking to follow up is Hesse, set back up for Aris. But now instead T. Coral sent away, and indeed the remainder of the car will be sent away, but Hesse. And Hesse doing it all there, ladies and gentlemen. Almost the double savior. Almost 6 shots previously, and now on the board again is NYC. So 334, and keep in mind, I think coming into this one, if you ask who the pressure is on, certainly Philadelphia. I mean, in this case, hey, you're supposed to show up. You're supposed to continue dominating. They have not done that. Indeed, go crossbar. A little bit of assist there on defense. As we continue on here, CSA action. Welcome on in, Gavini. Great to see you. It is CSA Car Soccer Association action. And, friend, we saw a great A great game a little bit earlier on between Philadelphia and Baltimore. But this one, we didn't know what the situation was going to be, if it was going to be a forfeit. But SC and T-Coral able to grab Eris as a substitute. And again, this is preseason, so nothing officially in the record books for this one. But T-Coral popping this one sky high. Pigby looking to follow. Pigby will follow. Looking to stick the skewer through the defense. Kick sky high, courtesy of Gyro and Hesse land. I'm telling you, seriously, Hesse trying to do it all and just about able to do it all. A 2:58 left to go in this one. 2-1. Still in favor of NYC. Now Air's going to be out of the low, courtesy of Gyro. Bigby's taking a sweet time along the wall. And again, patience, the name of the game for both of these teams right now. Keep in mind, if New York City wants to get the dub here, needing to grab 2 more. Still, Philly, a scant single. We take over closer towards halftime here in our game number 4. Fate, the shot on up and under, but Hesse able to send this one sky high. Save and savior. And remember, almost getting the double saver previously. And defensive work, we saw a little bit earlier on. Baltimore, of course, Jonathan, a steel curtain right now. Hesse, looking, not looking steel, looking more like titanium. That one gets away, but Eris will deny the shot on that one. So Phoenix and patience, certainly something that they can afford for the time being. But this is a team in New York City, this makeshift crew. They have been able to be patient, able to put the pedal to the metal, go from 0 to 100. The flick away, up and over towards Gyro. Not find the back of the net. Hope you're doing well, Gabini. Car Soccer Association, its debut on the channel. And preseason, again, we'll be back here for week 1 action. Next week as well, 9:15 p.m. Eastern and 10 back-to-back. Hesse, send away Pigby, soft nudge. Looking to kick this back, challenge along the wall by Eris, and indeed, New York City continuing the aggression. As Hesse, looking for the dome lane, not going to be able to grab it. Instead, Fate save and savor the nudge along by Gyro, and the number 1 overall pick. Looking to do this one with style. The delayed musty popped off the dome, looking to set up, but Fate not going to be able to follow. So indeed, the short form, it is on the menu. But will they be able to convert? Got to put it in the back of the net some way, somehow, some form. And remaining in this one, and Vanguard on the cusp of taking us to a game number 5. When they're, for a hot minute, I mean, it almost looked like a sweep was inevitable. But again, testament to what they have been able to do here. They shorthanded, not knowing who their third was going to be. We saw possibly Dap, not able to go. So bringing in Eris, it is the musty, and off the crossbar, able to deny, but the aforementioned, the super sub. Putting this one back of the net, so New York City. Phoenix on their heels, on roller skates even. 36 ticks, and we may very well be headed to a game number 5. And ladies and gentlemen, look, at the end of the day, this is the home of Philadelphia Phoenix Rocket League, but it is also the home of content. And y'all know how I feel about that. So Fate looking to sneak this one past. The shot opportunity is there, and indeed, Pigby. Not about game 5. But certainly maybe about OT. Certainly about content. That would require one more shot on. 5 Phoenix, 26 seconds. Kickoff goal is very much a thing. As now Gyro unable to nudge it past. Instead, Eris looking to solidify this one, put a bow on it. Was that stall? Now Pigby and Fade looking for the rushback 2v2 situation. And Fade with a nudge. Fortunately, not enough as we have 10 seconds left to go on this one. New York City looking to solidify game number 5. And with T-Coral, the flickery, it is basic but oh so efficient. Pigby able to get the deletion, but the rushback, not enough. Gyro lays out, and ultimately T-Coral doing him dirty courtesy of the 45. 7 seconds left to go in this one. We are game 5 bound, ladies and gentlemen. And after the wait, like I said, I think we deserved it. You, me, everybody involved. So it effectively becomes a best of 1, ladies and gentlemen. This preseason matchup here, match number 2 on the day for both of these teams. I believe New York City played a little bit earlier on, but ultimately the crew in Philadelphia, more than they have been tested all evening long. Fate out there, 7 shots as well. Got the savior, but only 2 on the board for the Phoenix. Meanwhile, just great defensive play. Almost a savior for every single individual out there for Vanguard. But here we go. It is game number 5. Not a Champions Field, but quite frankly, this one preseason, it does not have to be. Just the level of gameplay that we are seeing here. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a treat and hopefully a great bookend to your Sunday evening. As T-Coral, the nudge going to be met by gyro off the wall, or off the low, I should say. And the sent away by Fade and Mercy. This is CSA. This is Car Soccer Association action. This is world class. This is the number 1 seed, or beg pardon, the number 1 draft pick, Gyro, taking on the number 2 draft pick, T-Coral. And we had a situation out here with Vanguard. Again, we expected T-Coral, we expected Hesse, and we expected Cloud, but Cloud unable to go. Thought we might see Dap, but instead we get Eris as a super sub here in the preseason. But, and we have Fade and Pigbeast out there alongside Gyro, as the aforementioned took to the sky. Pigbeast the pop away, and right now, for game number 5, it is a best of 1. And Mercy, you know how I feel about that. Hesse played so very well on defense ever since about halfway through that game number 2. Yes, it was a loss. It was a 2-1 loss, but ultimately able to slow things down from a Brazil in game number 1. Eventually able to shift back, grab that win in game 3, and the potential, ladies and gentlemen, for a reverse sweep is on the line. Just I would love to see you, as always. Big Beast set back down. Fade not going to be able to follow. Who else is there? Who else is it going to be? It is Hesse. Goose Egg's on the board for the time being. Pigbeat. Think of that pass instead. A rush-up opportunity for the Phoenix from 1 to 2. Gyro looking for the K, and indeed, the number 1 overall pick. Gyro to Pigbeast, back up and over, says, take it, my captain. And indeed, he will do just that. And thank you, Mercy. I appreciate it. So 3:40 left to go in this game number 5. 2 in favor of the Phoenix, 2 in favor of the makeshift Vanguard crew. Despite our struggles to be able to start this one, it has been a banger, and there is the super sub. The setup by T-Coral. We are just under $1.30 into this one. And indeed, fireworks, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you've had a fine Sunday night for those of you in the U.S. Hope your Labor Day weekend's going well. And Pigbeast. Bumpery. Queen Phoenix teammates. Gyro kicking this one high. Held up courtesy of Hesse. Fade the setup towards center. Eris will steal this one away. Opportunity for T-Core to follow. Met that 50 pop sky high. Wrap back around. You have Gyro stealing possession away. Hesse lying in wait on the defensive line, as he has been wont to do all game long, all evening long, more or less. Again, it was a struggle there in game 1. Confusion about it. But ultimately, a tremendous series this one ended up being. And I hope you'll be able to see the standard issue trifecta for New York City a little bit later on in the season. But the time being, Eris playing tremendously well. Challenge up to low 50. Gyro playing patient against T-Coral. The flick back, and nobody going to be able to follow, as Coral fans out there in chat I see as well. T-Coral does this one away. Gyro going to pull off. As now Pigbeast kicking this one up. Going to be met by Hesse. The bump on the wall, and T-Coral will deny any advancement. 1-1 here in our game number 5. Like I said, we may not be on Champions Field, but it is all the same feeling. It is all the same vibe. Marvelous save, courtesy of Eris along the lip of the goal. Kick over closer towards 2 minutes left to go in this one. Pop back there by Fade. Down T-Coral. Go forward possession for New York City here yet again. Out to 2 minutes. Phoenix on the cusp of a reverse sweep, but being on the bad end. Sky high, Hesse able to get that demo. The setup opportunity. T-Coral with the follow. And indeed, another time, the Phoenix are denied. And welcome on in, folks, from Rocket Rival. You are here at a great time because it is game 5 here at CSA action, Car Soccer Association action. It is the preseason, but we do have a Philadelphia Phoenix team able to get a dub over Baltimore earlier on the evening, 3-1. New York City, we were expecting to see T-Coral, Hesse, and Cloud. Cloud not able to go. So instead, they bring in Eris. We thought we might see Dap as well. And thank you so much, Scheme, for the follow, by the way. No Dap. Instead, we have Eris, and Eris has indeed proven to be every bit the super sub necessary. There's your deletion. Pigbeast up and over T-Coral. 2v1 rush. Pigbeast over to the corner, flick back, but you have Hesse on the goal line yet again. Rocket Rivals, let me know what was going on your stream. I know, but specifics, Matt. We'll get you a shout out here before too long. No stress. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is 1-all. And what is effectively, like I said, coming on into this game 5, then a best of 1, a surging Vanguard. Resurgent Vanguard as well. With both of those, honestly, is Gyro. Not going to be able to sneak it past there since that pop sky high. 30 seconds left to go in this one. Philadelphia looking to crack their way for what has been an absolutely furious defense, an absolutely infuriating defense as well. Kick up now by Gyro. Hesse, the send away back down. Pigby's going to be able to challenge and need the send away. But Gyro lying in wait, pop back. Maybe able to follow this. T. Coral. Gyro looking to send it away, but instead, T. Coral, the recovery off the ceiling, says, thank you so much, my guy. And New York City, ladies and gentlemen, on the cusp of the reverse sweep, not knowing who the heck we would see on this channel, as Fade send up and over towards Gyro. Gyro the setup for Fade. No, T. Coral able to deny here yet again. That one, but again, is Pigby on the wall. There are zeros on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. Gyro with the send away. Fade gonna chase after. Up and over. Gyro will not find the back of the net, and New York City, the makeshift Vanguard, able to get the dub. Whew. What a series. And again, ladies and gentlemen, coming into this week, we did not know what the heck. We didn't know what the heck for a hot minute. We waited around for a good half hour asking ourselves, what is to be? What is going to be? Who are we even going to get a game? And the good news is, yes, not only did we get a game, we got an absolute banger, and did not go Philadelphia's way, certainly, but a huge tip of the cap to T. Coral, Hesse, and then the super sub. That was Eris. Not anticipating seeing Eris this evening at all, but played so very, very well. So, ladies and gentlemen, that being the preseason, it was a tremendous series. It was a loss, but again, it does not go against Philadelphia. So there's the good news there. But ultimately, as well, something to go back and watch. Maybe something positive to be gotten out of this one, and maybe just lackadaisical there at the end. But that's the good news in the preseason. You have the opportunity to just kind of no, actually you have to dial in. You have to do this thing. And at the end of the day, both of these, earlier on with Baltimore and this one as well, basically glorified scrims. But at the end of the day, what a series. So GG's to Baltimore, GG's to makeshift New York City. And I got to say, they're going to be seeing Cloud again, but you gotta wonder, maybe they're eyeballing Eris saying, I don't know, we got something here, my guy. What do you think? What do you think? Run this again? But at the end of the day, just tremendous gameplay by Philadelphia, Baltimore a little bit earlier on, and of course, makeshift New York City crew that we were fortunate to see this evening. Thank you so much again for Eris stepping in on that. The tremendous series. But ladies and gentlemen, again, we will be back here next week, 9:15 p.m. Eastern, and then right after that, 10 p.m. Eastern, basically just skip right after the game for two more season 2, week 1 matchups. There it is. Words are hearts. So very excited to see what this crew has. Those will officially count. So in the meantime, you have to spread the good word of Monkey Shines. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Oh, and that reminds me, I will pay out that prediction here momentarily. Great casting. Thank you so much, Gibby. Appreciate you, friend. Let's see who is out there for us this evening. Looks like the mainstream. Oh, the mainstream is still going. So let's pop on in. This I may be the franchise caster for the Philadelphia Phoenix, but there is a mainstream. Let's stop on in. Looks like we have a matchup between St. Louis and Rochester, and this is the world-class grouping. So again, some of the finest talent you are going to see in CSA. Come along with me, why don't you? But again, thank you so much, Rocket Rivals, for the raid. I appreciate you guys. We waited around for a hot minute, and we got a tremendous series. But I will see you guys next week for week 1 action when it counts, when it goes on the record. GG's to every single team that came out here this evening, every single player. Thank you so much again for Eris to step up and give us a tremendous series. Don't know when I'm going to see you again, but it's going to be a great day. In the meantime, take care, stay safe. This is CSA Action.